Finally, after so long, Minecraft 1.21.6 or Chase the Skies drop is finally out, and there's a lot of changes, some of them you probably didn't even know about. So let me give you out some info and I'll get right to the video. So now, let's start. This huge showcase will be split into 12 different things that I will cover, and you will be able to see the times on your YouTube video. You just need to click and then you'll see all the timestamps for when these things will be covered. We will go to the dried ghast, the Ghastling, happy ghast, harness, happy ghast leashing, leash changes, cloud and sky changes, changes to existing features, music, the Locator Bar, smaller and other changes, and vibrant visuals, because if you know, vibrant visuals are not on Java yet, they are Bedrock exclusive for now, so I'll cover them last. And also make sure to like and subscribe because it took me a long time to make this video, and also join my Discord server. And if you want, you can comment what your favorite feature from this drop is. So now, let's start. Starting off, we're going with the star of the show, which is the new block which leads to almost everything in this new drop, and it's the dried ghast. The dried ghast is not as tall as a full block, it's kinda like the heavy core, and it spawns in Souls and Valleys with a 33% chance. However, finding it in Souls and Valleys is not the only way, because you have two other ways, and the first one being borrowing with piglins, and it has a 2% chance to drop, so maybe it's not the best way, so be prepared if you want to farm it to have a lot of gold. The third way to get this is to craft the dried ghast, and you can do that by getting 8 ghast tears, place them in a square, and then get a soul sand block. And this doesn't work with soul soil, and as a fun fact, in snapshots you could have crafted it with a bone block, which got changed. So you have 8 ghast tears and 1 soul sand block, you can craft the dried ghast, which is obviously hard because getting ghast tears is a little hard. When dried ghast are placed, they emit some nice grey particles, as you can see. And also, they don't need to be supported by a block to stand, so they can just spawn in the air sometimes. And the cool thing is that you can break them all at once. And they have no cooldown, so you can break them instantly, which is cool. To start the process of getting your new ghast mob, you need to place the dried ghast and also place water. And the thing is, you can't place water in the nether, so you need to take it to the overworld or the end. And when you do that, you'll get a new advancement, which is stay hydrated. And also, the gas will start emitting particles, which means that its hydration process has started. When the dried gas is hydrated, it will get to new phases each 5 minutes. And first of all, it starts as a normal dried gas, then it gets a little lighter and a little happier, and it starts indicating the gas that we actually want. If you thought about decorating your base with all the other gas variants, you actually can't. You can't get the 3 last variants because they are only exclusive for comments. The only way to have them is when you use water, and if you get them out of water, they revert to the normal stage. And also, you can use pistons to move the gas, and that is a pretty cool thing, but I don't know if anyone will use this. When the dried gas is hydrating, it will make different sounds, and they will also depend on its stage. So here's the sound for the normal dried gas when it gets into water. When the dried gas is hydrated long enough, the ghastling goes out, and that is my next subject for this drop, the cutest mob in the game. The Ghastling has a really happy face, and also on its sides you can see that it has some kind of gills, maybe scars, and it has a skin texture on the inside. So let me show you how it looks like. This is probably the cutest mob in the game, but the thing is that you can't have it all the time. After 20 minutes it turns into a happy ghast, so you can't have a Ghastling all the time. Ghastling can be here for around 20 minutes before they turn into a happy ghast, and you can speed up the process by tempting them with snowballs, which is pretty unique. The Ghastling basically counts as a baby version of the happy ghast, so we can't get it by having a special egg for it, but if you spawn a happy ghast and right click on the happy ghast with your egg, you'll get a Ghastling. The Ghastling has 20 health points, which is around 10 hearts, and it drops no XP, so there's no point in hitting it. The Ghastling follows the closest player in 16 blocks, and it also can follow some other mobs. The Ghastling can only follow adult mobs which are neutral or passive, so here's a list of all of them. The Ghastling can follow mules, horses, camels, pandas, llamas, cats, sheep, parrots, ocelots, skeleton horses, polar bears, chickens, cows, foxes, rabbits, happy Ghast, villagers, sniffers, armadillos, bees, donkeys, goats and pigs. The Ghastling will also prioritize the player before the mobs if there are more options to it, and also if no one is close to it, it will idle within 32 blocks of the original position. If the Ghastling follows someone for more than 16 blocks, it will reset its home position and that will be its new home position. And after a while of feeding or waiting for the Ghastling to grow up, it will finally grow into the mob that we actually want. And it's the Happy Ghast. The Happy Ghast is the first riddle mob which flies, and it also has 10 hearts, which is the same as the Ghastling. To get on the Happy Ghast, you need to tempt it with either a snowball or a harness. You can only tempt it with a harness if it isn't equipped. And if you equip it, it will look like this. The Ghast will kind of get a little smaller, and also it will have this harness which has different colors which I will show later on. And now you'll only need to tempt it with a snowball. And the first person who goes on it can control it, and as you can see, your point of view gets much larger. And on the Happy Ghast you can ride with 4 different people. When you're riding the Ghast, it will turn on its goggles and they look the same on every texture for the harness. Okay, so controlling the Happy Ghast is a little different. When you place the arrow forward, it will go into the direction you're facing. If you're facing up, you'll go up. If you're facing down, you'll go down. Pressing space will make you go up, and going backwards will make you go into the opposite direction which you are facing. And left and right work as they should, and when you press shift, you just dismount the mob. Another amazing feature is that you can stand on the Happy Ghast, like on shulkers, and then you can build in your nearest builds, and the Ghast eventually stops moving when someone stands on it. And this works both on normal Happy Ghast and on Happy Ghast with harnesses. Both harnessed and normal Happy Ghast can be held with leashes, and these look amazing. These look kinda like huge balloons. Happy Ghast cannot be bred, so you need more dried Ghasts, and also they have no panic mode, so when you hit them they won't try to run away or do something else. Happy Ghast can heal themselves, but it takes a really long time. They heal 1/2 a heart each 30 seconds. But don't worry, there are 2 more ways to heal your Ghast. The first one is to go to cloud level, and then you will heal 1/2 a heart each second, which is pretty good. Another easier way to heal your Happy Ghast is when it's raining, and when it's raining it also heals at the same speed as the clouds, but it's just much easier to wait for the rain. Okay, so Happy Ghasts are also immune to speed potions, and they take damage by fire, withers, and they don't shoot fireballs like Ghasts do. Happy Ghasts are a pretty huge mob, and they can be put into boats, but they can be put into minecarts, but it's a little hard to put them there, so yeah, I don't know about that. Unharnessed Happy Ghasts will roam around 64 blocks from the home location, while harnessed Ghasts will try to do that 32 blocks from the home location. Okay, so Happy Ghasts drop from 1 to 3 XP, so I'm sorry that you have to see that, but now you're finished with the Ghast. Let's go to the harness. Harness is the item that you need to ride your Ghast, and it's really easy to craft. You only need 2 glass blocks, 1 wool of the color that you want, and 3 leather. And it's really easy to do. You just do this combination and you get your harness. Here are all the 16 variants of the harnesses, and as you can see, the color doesn't change too much on the top. The cap stays exactly the same and the glasses stay also same, but it'd actually be nice if the glasses had the same color as colored glass. And by disabling the mob's AI, I could have just put them in a row here to show you all the harnesses and all the colors. As you can see, they look pretty good. The colors are pretty good, but they don't look too Minecrafty. This is one of the first things that don't look like they are from the game. And the front doesn't look, too different either. The Ghast, it just gets a little smaller, and that's all. The Happy Ghast doesn't have a special inventory, so to remove the harness you need to right click with shears. And as you can see, it got just lost a little. But the next thing that I want to show you is that you can re-dye the harness. So yeah, this is another feature that they added back in 1.20 I think, so we can just re-dye everything. Let's go to another feature which is related to Happy Ghast, and this one is pretty good. You can leash different mobs to both normal happy Ghast and harnessed happy Ghast, but I really recommend harnessed happy Ghast if you actually want to control the mob that you're holding. If you want to leash the mob to the Ghast, first leash the mob that you want to leash to the Ghast, and then right click on the happy Ghast, and that's how it will work. You can also leash multiple mobs to the Ghast, which is really good, and it's really easy to transport the mobs that you want, and this is kinda game breaking. If you want to get rid of the mob that the Ghast is holding, you can just shear it right off. And also you can connect the boats to the Ghast, which is really good because then you can get villagers in them, and that's a really good villager transporting system. And it's not a good idea for players to get into the boat because the boat will just fall down and snap, so yeah, it's not too good. The 4 leash connection only works for huge mobs and boats, but if you connect a small mob it will only be 1 leash, which is pretty nice, and you can also connect multiple mobs, so that's also cool. As a last fun fact for this feature, there's a texture in the files which is for a Ghast which has this 4 leash without a harness, but it isn't used in the game so you can't get it. Okay, we talked about Ghast leashing, but now let's talk about a feature that got added because of Ghast leashing, and it's the leashing updates. The sound effect that you just heard was the new snapping leash sound effect which got added in this drop. Talking about leashes, we got a bunch of fixes to them and a bunch of new things, as well as a new crafting recipe. Before, you needed a slime ball to craft leads, now you only need strings, which is amazing and it's much easier to craft them now. Moving on to match bedrock, leashes are now double as thick and they are much more visible, and I like this. Another thing that you can do is to leash mobs together, and you can make chains, but sadly you can't drag these chains together, so yeah, that's still a pretty weird feature. To remove leashes you can also use shears, and that will just easily remove the leashes. You can remove the leash chains too, but you can remove them one at a time, so it won't ruin your entire chain if you're worried about that. If you put shears in a dispenser and then turn it on near a mob which is leashed, it will remove the leash and also use the shears. Leashes also have better physics now, and they work better in air, so there's a smaller chance that it will snip in the air and they will work much better than they did previously, so this is a really good change. When a leash is dragged in a direction, the mob which is leashed will look at the leasher, so they won't just do weird turns and stuff like that. You can glide with leashes in your hand, but the second you use a firework, the leashes will just snap. We also got some leash changes for the knots which are on fences, so now when you pick up a leash there, you will also get the mob, so it just won't be destroyed. And you can also do that for multiple mobs, which is great. You can just pick them up and you can put them there. When a fence or something is missing, the knot will stay there for a while, but after some seconds it will be back at the mobs. Right clicking and sneak right clicking will do exactly the same thing on the fence, but when trying to pick it up you can't pick it up when sneak clicking. Punching or shearing the knot will just unleash all the mobs. The leash snap distance has been extended from 10 to 12, which means that it will be a lot harder to snap your leash, and it would help to improve the animal transportation. Okay, so this drop also improves clouds and the atmosphere in Minecraft, so let me explain some of the things that got updated in this drop. Starting off with new cloud changes, first of all, clouds can generate all the way to the horizon, so you can see them much better. And you can actually change that by going to video settings and scrolling all the way down to find cloud distance. The smallest one is 2 chunks where you barely can see any clouds, and the highest one is 128 clouds or chunks. So that means you can see the clouds all the way to the horizon, and that looks extremely good. The cloud patterns has also changed extremely. Before they were more singular and they looked much different, but now they look like huge packs together. Here are 2 pictures of how they looked in the beginning and how they looked in the end. And there's also one Easter egg. Each time you enter a world, the clouds pattern reset and go to the normal place. So if you go to these chords each time you start or launch the game, you'll find this creeper cloud. And this is an amazing Easter egg, and I love that Mojang still makes Easter eggs because we haven't gotten one in a while. Okay, going forward, they updated the fog, and yes, you can see that the fog is much different. When you join the game from 1.21.5 to 1.21.6, you'll see the difference. Many people, including me, hated it at the beginning, but I got used to it, so you guys will probably get used to it too. It looks bad at the beginning, so yeah, just remember that. 3D items will also be affected by fog, and the last thing is that rain got its own fog, and it's probably the biggest change. As you can see, when it starts raining it gets much foggier and it's way worse to see things, and the sad thing is that you can't skip rain, so yeah, this might be a little annoying, but it's still a pretty cool change. Moving on, we are going to talk about changes for existing features, so there's going to be a lot of them. Even though firefly bushes are one of the features from the spring drop, they got updated. Fire bushes can now emit larger and more constant particles, which gives a lot of more nice atmosphere to the blocks. When you tried to glide with an elytra and clicked on a block with your firework, it would just go straight up in the air. But now when you're gliding and place on a block, it will just make you boost right away, which is a great feature because I know some people wasted their fireworks by placing them on blocks. Shadows got removed from some structures in some chests, and it's the monster rooms, the ancient cities, strongholds, desert temples and jungle temples, and I will tell you why soon. And all of them got replaced by leather, which will now spawn in these chests from 1 to 5. Another saddle change is that you can remove saddles with shears, and sadly you can't remove saddles from rider mobs, so don't even think about removing a saddle from the Ravager. Well, we finally got the long awaited crafting recipe, which is the saddle, and you only need 3 leather and 1 iron ingot. And it's been really a long time since we wanted this. Since harnesses can also be crafted, then why can't saddles? And they finally added this. This is so good. Carrots can now be used to tame, heal and grow horses, donkeys and mules. And I don't know why this haven't been a feature since they added horses, but now we have it and it's great. Breeze mob spawn eggs got changed from large to medium, and it's because breezes and blazes are not that big in the real game. The resolution of the normal gas got changed to match the happy gas, and some people are not happy about this because they missed the old gas texture, but I actually like this. Also, killing a gas with its own fireball will make it drop a new music disc, which we'll talk about later in the music category. Projectiles also got a new target tolerance margin that changes the more they fly. This drop brings 5 new background tracks and 1 new music disc, so I'll cover all of them. I won't show all the songs, I'll just give you some samples of it. Okay, so Tears is the music disc you can get by reflecting a gas fireball onto the gas, and this music disc is one of a kind, and it also gives a redstone output of 10. So now let's listen to the song for like 10 seconds. Amos Rod is another background track which is 3.5 minutes, has a 22% chance to happen in a cherry grove and 4% chance to happen in other biomes, and also 10% chance to happen in the main menu. Broken Clocks is another 2.5 minute track by MS Roddy, and it has a 9% chance to spawn in forest, birch forest, old grove birch forest and dark forest, and the same stats as previously on normal biomes and menus. Take a listen. Okay, another song is Fireflies by Amos Roddy, and it also has a 20% chance to play out in a desert and has the same chances to play out in other biomes and the menu. Next up we got another song by Amos Rod which is almost 4 minutes, and it's also swamp themed. It's named Lilypad, and the highest chances for this is 10% in frozen peaks and almost 15% in the grove biome, and the other chances are on default. moving on, before we go to the other music changes, let's talk about the last track, which is 4.5 minutes and it's called O's Piano. It has a 30% chance to play in lush caves and has the default chances in menus and other biomes. Let's hear it. We got 3 other changes to music, and the first one being when you pause the game, the music will still play. And we got 2 new settings to music and sounds which are great. So when we go to them, let's also turn on music. And as you can see, the music shows up right here. And you can also show music toast, which was what I shown here, and music frequency. And if it's on constant, you'll have music all the time. And when you have on default, it will play normally as before, and frequent is of course frequent, but I will always play on constant. And music toast is something that will show all the time when you are in the menu and when a new song starts playing. It's a thing that will kind of show credits to the artist, and I love this. Moving on, we are going to go to a very special feature, and it's the Locator Bar. Okay, so locator bars can be easily turned on and off by a game rule, and also it's a new piece of UI shown in multiplayer when with other players. It disables XP bars right now, but if you regain XP or enter any place which need XP, you will see the bar for some seconds. And also, if you are facing a player 120 degrees, the thing will appear, and it's a waypoint. So if I look this way, I won't see anything. If I look this way, I will see the player. If the player is down, or I'm looking down, or I'm looking up, the arrow will be up or down. Wait, let me just go down like this. Yes, as you can see, the arrow is pointing down. Players can hide from the waypoint by using potions of invisibility, pumpkin heads, or just sneaking. The color you get is random. It can be changed by comments on Java, I think, because Java got these new waypoint commands, and I don't think that Bedrock has those, but I have to play on Bedrock because something with Java didn't work and the multiplayer just didn't work for me today. If you are in spectator, you will only see the players who also are in spectator, so that's also a pretty nice thing. Waypoints will look different depending on location, so let me show you how they look like. First of all, we have a square from 0 to 179 blocks, and this is what it looks like. It's just a nice square. Okay, so moving on from 180 blocks to 230 blocks, this will be a big circle, I guess. And yep, you almost can't see the difference, but it's kind of noticeable when you play on multiplayer. Well, if you're 230 to 181, you will see this small square. It's still visible, it just fits totally into the XP bar, but it's much less visible, so you know that you're far away from the player. And everything from 281 just looks like this, and it's kind of a small star. It says that's a circle. You maybe see a circle, I kind of see a plus, I don't know why. So yeah, this is what it looks like from the worst range. And also, they are controlled by waypoint transmit range and waypoint receive range. I'm sorry for such a bad showcase of this, but there's not too much I can talk about with this feature. So now let's go to some smaller changes and then let's talk vibrant visuals. So maybe this should not be counted as a small change, but we got a new panorama. And it looks honestly amazing, but it isn't one of the best. And also, if you look in the cave and if you look at the bottom of the cave, you'll see that there's an XP, meaning that they might have killed a happy Ghast to make this panorama. But yeah, I will let you see it and just watch. Okay, so now we got a bunch of small changes and I'll cover them in one super flat showcase, so I don't have to make multiple scenes for everything. So first of all, we got 2 new advancements. The first one is stay hydrated. You can get it by just hydrating your dried gas. And let me see the category for it. It's in husbandry, so it is right here and it is pretty far away from the main advancement. Next one, okay, let me just remove the water. Yes, the next one is called Heart Transplanter, and you can make it by just spawning a creaking. This was actually on Bedrock for a while before it got added to Java in this version. And let me see, it is in adventure, so yeah, there's not too far away from the main advancement. Okay, we got test instance POI, I don't know what it is, but it's something new. Sharing advancement triggers, if you make any special advancements in data packs or something, there's a new trigger for that. Also, F3 plus V makes this thing, which is show some client version info, and hopefully I didn't put anything weird in it. And yeah, next up we got UI sound category, which is right here. When you go to music and sounds, here's UI. And it's all the clicking sounds when you just tap on things in Minecraft, like, just your menu. And also we got major changes to these things. First of all, these things can play even if they have no sky access, so they can just be blocked and still make these sounds. They have a smaller chance to play these sounds, which is justified because of the no sky access, and play in all biomes equally, so they don't have any desert advantage. But one thing that they have removed from them are the wind sounds that they had before. But don't worry, they are still here. Because I don't think that you want wind sounds in places like the beach, so instead they gave them to these dry bushes. And they make them when they are above 2 desert related blocks, so it can be terracotta, it can be red sand, it can be sand. So yeah, it's all these 3. And we got some other changes. Changed creatures to mobs. So when you go to music and sounds, it will say friendly mobs and hostile mobs. And it's not creatures anymore. And leash breaking is now called unleashing, and leash placing is called leashing. Before it was called that in the sound categories and all that. And also, let's go to the splashes before we go to vibe visuals. Funny enough, they removed Miner's Welcome, which was one of the splashes I actually saw. I thought it was funny, and now they just removed this. But we got 5 new splashes. We got music by Aaron Cheraf, music by Kumi Tanioka, music by Amos Roddy, Flint and Steel, and Chicken Jockey, which are Minecraft movie references and your credits, so we didn't get any new ones. Or wait, yes, we got one little change which I forgot about. They changed 10 years of mining and crafting to 15 years of mining and crafting. I'm sorry for forgetting that little detail, but yes. Now, let's go to the last thing, which is vibrant visuals. Vibrant visuals are still work in progress, which means that many things here can be changed, and that's why this showcase of it will be much smaller than the showcases of the other things. I won't mention every detail, but I will mention some of the key things that will be in vibrant visuals, because some of the things here are getting deleted or getting added back, so there's a little confusion. So it just confirmed the confirmed things. So vibrant visuals will be the default thing for many devices, and if you want to see yours, check the Minecraft site, you will see which device can actually have vibrant visuals. But this will be a default thing, and you can actually disable it in settings, so it's not too bad if you actually hate it. But vibrant visuals add directional light, pixel alignment, shadows, and water reflections, and much more. Java has currently no date for when this will release, but I'm guessing that will release next year, so don't get your hopes up that it will release so fast. Block textures has also another layer, so that means that they will glow in many different ways, and as you can see, it doesn't look the best. And it's because it's really work in progress, and I don't know why they have decided to release it this fast. But yes, shadows are also here, and they are much more pixelated, as you can see. Some mobs and blocks get their special light. So to do that, let me just go and put on time set. Or wait, am I even having cheats? Okay, now it's night. So what I'm going to place here is an eye blossom. So here it is. It's one of the newest plants from the recent updates, and as you can see, it gives you more light than otherwise. So this is another great thing. And when it's midnight, it basically has its own kind of glow. So let me just kind of build around it and see if this actually glows when it's closed. Yes, it actually glows, and that's great. And as you can see, light is also a little different. When I get here, it gets a little darker, and as you can see, there's this kind of blur. And another thing that they added is water changes. Water also reflect the nearest areas. So if there's any block that you can see, you will see it. And also the sun and moon is reflected. The nether looks really great too, just take a look at this. The lava looks much harder and the biomes have a much more impressive atmosphere. As you can see, all the biomes have different, like, these flying things. Yes, this exists on both versions, but they aren't as impressive as this. This looks much better. And also, let's go to the nether roof, so I will show you something pretty nice. So I can do that, and the nether up here is pitch black. And I actually can't light it on, and it's because they don't want the sun to, or they want the sky to actually light up there. So yeah, this is pretty nice. And sometimes the lava doesn't look hot enough, sometimes it looks really hot. So yeah, this is one of these changes that is still work in progress, and I don't know why they have released it so fast, because in my opinion it still needs some work on. And as you can see, another mob that can glow is the blaze, and somehow we got two blazes here. But yes, now it became pitch black here, and it became like my kind of only light source. So if I look at it for long enough, it will be dark here, and now it gets a little lighter. Which is weird, I know why it works like that, but it still works. And also when you get some, let me get the torch like this. You can also enable render dragon features or render dragon experiments for creators. And the point lights, you will get some other types of lights, which will look amazing. And as you can see, these torches have their own light. You could say that this is blue light, but still I don't think that it is. But yes, it gives out its new light, and it is kind of blue. So I don't know what you think about this. Okay, but now let's go to the end, which probably received the best update of all. And you could say that this is some kind of end update. And maybe it is. So here I am, and as you can see, there are some purple flashes, purple explosions. And also, why is it so light in here? Okay, so from what it seems, here are the explosions, of course. There's something wrong with the Vine visuals. They might have deleted the biome fog, which worked for a while. And yes, the end should be purple, I think. But it isn't, so maybe it's one of the cancelled things that they will add in the future. But yes, right now we got explosions, but the end doesn't look normal. And also I tweaked some of the settings, so you can change that. You can go and change many different things. And you can also favor visuals, favor performance, and also do some custom things. So right now, if I just do favor visuals, I will have something like this. And this looks great, but I gotta say there are many things that need fixes. And the eyes, they are glowing. This is the perfect thing. And I think that with this, I can finally end this showcase. I wanna say thanks for watching. If you watched for so long, comment the word Elytra. So yeah, thanks for watching and see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, comment your favorite feature. And see you very soon. I got many new videos to film for you guys. Bye.